Hey guys, it's that time of the year again. At the beginning of each year, starting in 2018, I've released my top 15 ideas for the year. Last year, I released my top 2018 ideas, and you can find those actually for free online if you type in Robin Speziale in Google, plus 2018 best ideas. And for this year, 2019, I've done the same. I've released my top 15 ideas for 2019, but I've released them exclusively for my new Patreon members, of which there's over 80 members now on patreon.com/Robin Speziale. And currently for this year, through January, I haven't looked at through February yet. The month is about to close, but I'm up 15%. Among those 15 stocks, one of the stocks was up above 50%. It's a small cap stock. And you can learn more. I'll leave the link in the description to this video. But if you go to Google, type in Robin Speziale Patreon. It's not just my top 15 ideas that I share with everybody, but I give my book away for free if you become a member. You get all of my ebooks for free. I include audio interviews with top investors, brand new interviews that are exclusive just for Patreon members, and there's a lot more you can check out. And on Patreon, I've also thrown in a lottery ticket idea for 2019 and beyond, not just for 2019, but Bitcoin. Okay, so a lot of people call me crazy, like, Robin, why all of a sudden are you believing in cryptocurrency? But this is just focused really on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I haven't really looked outside of this universe. I don't really care to at this point. That doesn't mean that Bitcoin is going to go to the moon, but some readers will remember that in last year's 2018 Ideas newsletter, I actually said that Bitcoin's parabolic run up to $2,000 per one Bitcoin, and the entire cryptocurrency market had got to be a bubble. And I was right. A month or two after I wrote that Bitcoin was in a bubble at $20,000 US per Bitcoin, it crashed. And from 20,000, Bitcoin went all the way down to right around $3,000 per Bitcoin. And the pop was large. Bitcoin lost 85% of its value. But it's done that, I think, about 2 to 3 times before in the past. So it does go through these cycles, these bubble cycles. It's currently still in a bear market, and I was buying Bitcoin actually through December, January, now through February, as Bitcoin has hovered between, I think, right around 3,000 to 4,000 to 4,500. It's hovered around there. And most of the other crypto coins out there, like 99% of them, I don't think will ever rebound. It's a lot like what happened in the year 2000 .com bubble, where you had stock issues like Pets.com, and there's just so many different tech IPOs in the year 2000 that you don't hear about anymore. The businesses are gone. But there were those few, like Amazon, that was born in the late 90s and IPO'd then, that crashed with the dot-com bust, but then has gone on to become one of the most valuable companies ever in the world. So not only that, I do think that Bitcoin will rebound, and I think that there's value in Bitcoin, which I'll explain a little bit later. But I also have a hunch that, excuse me, that some institutions, pensions, hedge funds, and family offices are now accumulating Bitcoin during this bear market. It's impossible to ignore now. They won't want to miss the next rally. Like, they missed the rallies before. They were as pessimistic as I was, and they really don't want to miss the next rally. And I think that they'll help in actually fulfilling. It's like a self-fulfilling next rally, and they probably are. Acquiring a direct stake in cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, maybe some Ethereum, as I have done. And these can potentially be hedges in a portfolio in the future. It definitely is a possibility. I was reading the latest edition of The Economist. This was about a month or two ago. And The Economist featured a UBS Campton report, which surveyed 311 family offices. And they surveyed these 300 family offices between February and May 2018. And they showed the asset breakdown on average. And so about 28% of these offices, family offices, which had significant investments, 20% was in equities, 18% was in property, 16% was in bonds, 14% was direct investment, so private equity, 7.6% was in private equity funds, 7% was in cash, 5.7% was in hedge funds, 3.4% was in commodities. And then at the end of the article, I got to thinking, what about cryptocurrencies? Like maybe that is soon. Maybe all these funds and pensions and whatnot, and even do-it-yourself investors, they might want Bitcoin in their portfolio to at least be a hedge. But I think there's a lot more to Bitcoin than just that. There's a lot to like about it. Bitcoin is decentralized. Meaning that you don't have a central bank printing Bitcoin as you do with U.S. currency or other currencies around the world, and so there's no central power. Secondly, Bitcoin is non-inflationary. When you do print more U.S. dollars, you create inflation in the system. The more you do print, and you can get to states in which, like for example, Zimbabwe, where you have an almost worthless currency after so much printing. And so Bitcoin is actually deflationary because the amount of Bitcoin, I believe it's capped at 21 million, I think around there, Bitcoin can never be in existence. And that's divisible by Satoshis even further than that. And some people have a theory that Satoshis, the equilibrium price might eventually become one US penny per Satoshi, and that would effectively make each one Bitcoin worth $1 million. Like, that sounds crazy today. I'm not going to discount anything. There's lots of theories, but and the third thing here is that there's no middleman for Bitcoin. There's no financial institution taking a cut of an e-transfer, for example. I really wouldn't be surprised to even see Bitcoin accepted one day at places like McDonald's and through Uber Eats and other retailers in the future, and maybe everywhere. Apparently 8% of Americans currently have a cryptocurrency wallet based on a survey I think that was done last year, and that's expected to grow to, who knows, like it might be, possibly adoption will be 80, 90, 100%, in the next 10 to 20 years. Imagine a global trusted cryptocurrency that can be used anywhere by everyone. And not only that, but a global currency like Bitcoin could potentially level the playing field. It could bring someone who didn't have access to goods because their currency is worthless. They could then start buying goods with Bitcoin and be in the same level as many others in the world. So it definitely is interesting. Like, in theory, it's quite interesting. Okay, so maybe I was drinking too much rum and eggnog when I added Bitcoin as my bonus idea of my top 15 ideas for 2019 and beyond. But if you are intrigued at all and want to dabble in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, you can use a link where you can get $10 US Bitcoin for free on Coinbase. I think if you just type in Bitcoin Robin Speziale, you'll find a post with me on Google, and you can grab that $10. And again, go to patreon.com/Robin Speziale if you want all of my top 15 ideas for 2019. They're up 15% through January, and I believe they will be higher through February 2019 when I run the stats. If you have any questions, you can email me at r.speziale@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, guys. Happy investing, and warm regards. Talk soon.